This episode is brought to you by Kirin Beer's Try Again campaign for getting famous comedian Takashi Okamura to try a b-boy set again. Apparently beer making people want to dance doesn't just work for drunk girls, it also works for famous comedians. Zerjon, an organiser of b-boy events in Scandinavia, recently released a list of his expenses for b-boy events, and it is sobering viewing for anyone interested in organising b-boy events. Yep. Most of his events actually fail to make very much money. Mr. Riggles was right, most of the time the B in B-Boy stands for broke. Zerjon's articles revealed a lot about his expenses and what goes into making an event that most people probably don't even think about. For example, typical sponsorship from the government comes to about €5,000. On top of that, he expected about 500 people in attendance for each of his events. Now, most of that €5,000 goes on international artists and DJs, which is necessary for most events these days. Right after that, the attendance money then goes on things like, hotels and food, surely things people can go without, right? The situation that caused this post was a particularly bad event where Zerjon netted only €100 for almost a year's work. Ooh. While €100 may be enough to buy a house in post-Brexit UK, it's not a lot in Sweden with its ridiculous high 22% income tax and insane cost of living. Yes, Sweden, your ridiculously overpriced foodstuffs made this small child cry. Hope you feel guilty. Of course, this is a worst case scenario which doesn't include things like monetizing from social media, making money from food and drink, and sponsorship, which leads us nicely to our next point. So, we just had the Unbreakable event, and many of you might have noticed this mark on the Unbreakable footage. This mark is the mark of the clothing brand Jack & Jones, which is obviously a sponsor now of the event. Jack & Jones has recently been trying to launch a range of urban wear, which basically is a hoodie, because to most companies, urban wear means stick a hood on it, and there you go, urban wear. Of course, Unbreakable is far from the first event to get a sponsor. Now, most of us know, for example, Red Bull BC1, G-Shock Real Toughness, are really intimately linked with their sponsors. It would actually sound a bit weird if I just said BC1, for example, because the sponsor is so much a part of that event's identity. Obviously, this has good and bad points. The good thing is the money. Yep, more and more b-boys are becoming full-time b-boys, which is just amazing. My generation just never thought this would ever happen. And let's be honest, us b-boys and b-girls have enough cool and swag and awesomeness to spare. I, for one, have buckets of awesome to spare. So, if anyone wants to sponsor me, please. The only worrying thing is that these corporate concerns are starting to affect events. Now, major events have become these very polished, very clean things, and that's not necessarily b-boying. You'll never see the sort of raw, uncut b-boying that you see at local events at these big events. As well as that, anyone expecting clean footwork or beautiful top rock in the promotional material will be left wanting. To most companies, their promotional material is dancing air flare or air chair competition. They don't really care about the dance and the real essence of b-boy. Add to that the recent homogenization of events and event formats, and you can see that sponsorship isn't always 100% good. Also, at the moment, the companies that are sponsoring us are the sort of companies that b-boys might use. B-boys do use G-Shock watches, we do drink Red Bull and things like this. However, in the future, we might see more interest from luxury goods that, let's be honest, most b-boys aren't rocking. And morally questionable companies. Will there be a muck b-boy crew, for example? We'll have to wait and see. This could, of course, create some real ethical problems for the next generation. So, what do you think? Are corporate sponsors good or bad for b-boying? Let us know in the comments. So, what are the actual results of Jack & Jones? Well, the result is that B-Boy Kill is freaking awesome, as he overcame one of the most difficult brackets ever to become the champion. Look at this, Rock's Ride followed by the homie Yosha's Stoic, and finally Kuzya in the final. That's an incredible run. An all-star UK crew called You Crazy took out the Ruggeds in the final. Like most people, I thought the Ruggeds were going to win that one, so that's an amazing result for You Crazy. Seriously, props guys. You're doing a good job and representing the UK. Peace. So that's our video. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe. And please let us know in the comments, did we miss anything? Do you have any thoughts on some of the topics that we covered? Anyway, until next time, this is Flo and you're for Dancing Asia. Peace.